Good afternoon, everyone, and this is round 21 of the Optus Cup, and also a significant milestone reached for these two clubs today here at Parramatta Stadium, the 100th clash between these two sides, and that dates back to 1947, the year Parramatta entered the premiership, and this game vital to both teams. In fact, it is a sudden death match in the race for the finals. And these are the Parramatta Eels. Dean Pay is the captain. And quite a reasonable Saturday afternoon crowd too here at Parramatta Stadium. The weather fine. And Parramatta starting this match as favourites, on top of what was a fair performance against Cronulla in Saturday football last weekend. This is their side: Mabon, Mahon, McCracken, Kelly, Russell, the halves Lawler and Freeman. Very good looking forward pack. Dimmick, Morgan, Smith, Pay, Campbell and Peter Johnston back. Ron Hilditch, the coach of the Parramatta Eels. And now it's the Sydney Tigers. Dan Staines is the captain. He's one of two veterans in this Tigers outfit. Ellery Hanley, where he is there, the second. And of course, these two clubs share Parramatta Stadium as their home ground. The Sydney Tigers on top of a 2-point win last weekend over the Illawarra Steelers. Their side: Brasher, Edwards, Kennedy, Milford, Patterson. Halves: Hanley and Gillette. Their forwards: Morrison, O'Neill, Stimson, Staines, Darren Centre playing hooker, along with Adam Starr in the front row. Wayne Pearce, one of the former greats of the Tigers, is the coach. And another former great is Stephen Roach. He has sideline duties.
Yeah, beautiful day for football this afternoon, Andrew. A big breeze from the south in favour of Balmain. I know their major goal during the year was to win 11 games. They've won 10. They've got the opportunity to knock Parramatta right out of the 8 today. But one thing they've got against them is they're going into the game without a regular goal kicker. Timmy Brasher having a couple of shots. Last week, Baysari missed with his only 2 attempts. That could come against them at the end of the day, but Parramatta are in good form.
And Andrew, I think Block is still great.
He is indeed. Paul McBlain, our referee. Gary Edwards, maybe that could be an indication of goal-kicking duties today, gets us underway. And this Parramatta side looking to start this match and basically collect the 2 competition points right from the word go. McCracken had first touch of the football, and now Campbell works for Johnston. And the Tigers' defence is there. The 2 front rowers, Starr and also Staines. Now Campbell along for Dean Pay. 15 metres inside their own half. Campbell, his first dart from dummy half. A handful there for Morrison in defence. Morrison's had a fine season for the Tigers. This is Jason Smith working with a short ball. And away goes Morgan. Now for Russell. Inside the 30-metre line, and Russell. Dangerous raid from Parramatta early. Last tackle, it's with Dimmick. He's kicking, sending Mahon on the chase. Now Mahon has got Edwards turned around. The bounce wasn't a good one for Parramatta. And it's covered up at the back, but the Tigers under all sorts of pressure. A
flying set of 6 to start the game for the Eels. I was going to make the point that the other change for the Parramatta team is the swapping of Dean Pay and this man, Justin Morgan, with their positions. Morgan in the second round. I think that's a good move. Shane Russell, a former Tigers player himself, with great speed, and the kick from Dimmick was a good one, forcing another set of 6. But we've got the touch judge coming in. And it looks as though a Tigers player will be penalised here. Maybe some interference on some of the chases in the Parramatta team.
It must be where Morgan went through the gap. And the Tigers will concede the penalty here. Let's watch it again.
There's Morgan going through, and you can see there the number 4, Stuart Kelly, was hauled back out of the play, and that was why the penalty was awarded.
Tim Patterson, the offender. Parramatta would have had possession from the dropout. What this has done is soak up plenty of seconds and allow the Tigers to regroup.
And no surprise to see Parramatta make the break off a Jason Smith pass of late recent weeks. He's been the man who's been creating all the opportunities for Parramatta out wide.
Johnston gets them within 15 metres of the Tigers line. They've got a full set of 6 to work with. Campbell skips out Morgan with a pass and finds Pay. Rock back there as Staines came over the top. Untidy play the ball. Freeman then on for Lawler. Lawler inside for Dimmick. Dimmick up into the line. It was almost a forward pass there to Kelly. Right in front of the Tigers posts, 15 metres out. Campbell works with Jason Smith. He's got McCracken on his outside and held up. Hanley was around the legs to make the tackle. A good play the ball that time. Quick. Freeman, Dimmick spins away from one tackle. Back for Freeman. The Tigers defence is holding on. 5 metres out from their own line. That is the last tackle. Campbell has Dimmick on his right. Dimmick is with it. Threads it into the in-goal area. Edwards is there for the Tigers. And again, they don't get back to the field of play. So a line dropout.
Good tactics from Jim Dimmick and a good chase from Rod Maybon. Dimmick looks to be a little bit more fluid in his movements this afternoon, despite the heavy strapping on the right leg. Gary Edwards vainly trying to get back in the field of play. He almost did, but was dragged back.
Well, the line, of course, is in goal. Parramatta. Johnston gets another hit up. Staines his first man there. Over many years, those two would have confronted each other. Here is Dimmick. Getting plenty of possessions early, Jim Dimmick. Campbell now across for Gary Freeman. Now ball here with Rod Maybon and a step. Away from Stimson it was. In fact, Mark O'Neill was the player he beat. Campbell then away for Morgan. Morgan now, they've earned the penalty for offside down that blind side, the Tigers. So Parramatta, do they keep the pressure on?
I'd be very tempted to kick for touch. Not backwards, just kick for touch.
So Johnston, he goes on the charge for the first. Adam Starr over the top. Campbell away for Freeman. Here is Lawler. Lawler has Smith inside for Dimmick. The two playmakers there. Maybon finds half a gap. And they're back to that ground of 5 metres out from the Tigers line. Campbell away for Freeman. Freeman this time has a run and has hammered in the tackle. That time it was Stimson. 10 out. Dimmick. Smith. It's almost a Shepherd. Back for Johnston. Parramatta's defence in a line. The attack of Dean Pay. He offloads then for Campbell. Can they get something out of it? Campbell. They went high. There was 3 players there to make the tackle. Now Jim Dimmick. Freeman. Then for Lawler. Inside for Maybon. Maybon floats the pass back for Lawler. Lawler angles infield. Then for Johnston. Johnston gets into the in-goal, rolled on his back and held up.
Well, Parramatta's problem is they're all too flat in attack. They're not standing deep at all. And let's give some credit to this Tigers defence. It's tigerish. They're coming from everywhere. Maybon makes the half break, offloads, and we thought Lawler might go over for the try, but that's a good hit. And then they hold Johnston up, but good defence.
Yeah, great defence. Give the Tigers a lot of confidence. The defence in this game. They've done 32 tackles to 0. 6 sets of 6 on the way.
Parramatta, the scrum comes back for Freeman. The Tigers actually broke from that scrum before the ball was loose. Blaine allowed play to continue. Dimmick, the pass had to lean forward to, then Lawler. Tigers defence in the face of the Parramatta players. Dimmick, then away for Morgan. Morgan, good tackle again from Mark Stimson. Just metres out from the Tigers' lines. Here is Dean Pay. Short pass to a flat-footed Johnston. And again they hold on. That time Morrison and Mark O'Neill. Campbell. Now for Freeman, inside for Pay. The inside ball being read by the Tigers defence. Freeman then on for Jason Smith. He floats the pass, and Russell is the player who scores, a former Tiger. Well, with all the ball, it had to be either Smith or Dimmick to get the Parramatta side through.
Beautiful pass from Jason Smith, but as Paul pointed out earlier, no surprise. Last tackle, running the football, through Freeman, on to Smith. He freeze played there. You can see the winger, the Tigers winger. He's not quite sure whether to come in or stay out, and that allows some space down the sideline for Shane Russell, the quickest player in the Parramatta team, and no chance for Tim Patterson to turn and
8 minutes old, and one team has not touched the ball yet.
The other thing, I am amazed that Parramatta have allowed Shane Russell to leave the club. I think he's off to the Gold Coast team next year, and he has got genuine speed, something that the Eels have lacked for a little while now. He's a young player, and I think he's a first grader. I'm very surprised that they've allowed him to go.
Lawler, he scored a try, kicked 2 goals last week. Not such a bad attempt first up, only centimetres wide. So Parramatta off to the start. They lead the Tigers 4-0.
There are some things you can only see with your Optus vision.
Almost a mix-up there. Marn comes away with the ball. So this Parramatta side just outside their 20. Campbell working here with Johnston. Under the tackle there of Star. Well, blocker Fatty's raised the point about not recalling a match where one team has had all the possession. What about you? This has been an unbelievable start as Dimmick gets an offload here for Campbell. We'll get to you shortly, Steve, as Campbell is wrapped up on halfway, but it's been all Parramatta.
Well, I always try and look on the positive. Balmain have got a lot of young players in their side. Mark Stimpson already made a number of telling tackles. There's another penalty. But the thing that they're doing, the Balmain side, the young players, they're ball watching Smith. And what I mean by that is they allow him to stand in tackles and pass the ball, hold it out before the line. And you've got to go and make the tackle on players like Smith and Dimmick if you are to get on top of them.
Well, Fatty mentioned 8 minutes gone without a tackle being made by one team. It's now 9.5. And the penalty's also 3-0 against them. You could not get a worse start than what the Tigers are experiencing.
Parramatta are 10 metres out. Temporary hold up, 2 balls on the field. And the Eels have set themselves deep to the right. Dimmick just put doubt in the mind of the Tigers' defence. He switched round to the blind side. A poor pass. And the Tigers come up with it. A cheer from the crowd as well. It was Kennedy who got his hands on the ball. This is Stimpson tackled 30 metres out. So the Tigers have had to do all the work. Now Staines, and they've got themselves a penalty. So McBlain really coming down hard on the 10 metres.
Yeah, there's odds on he was going to give a penalty in that set of 6. He had the whistle to his mouth before the ball had been
Yeah, he was looking for one.
That's a poor penalty. I think there's been a couple of those. Almost a penalty for the sake of one.
Tigers already have made one change with Staines from the field. Pearson is on. This is Adam Starr, former Sydney Rooster. The City Rooster is now the Tigers working a ruck play with Stimpson. Driving tackle there from Campbell. Only 30 metres out though now. Gillette